Hussein ruled Iraq. The world recognized him as the ruthless leader who killed innocent people and instigated conflicts. He loved beautiful buildings and lived lavishly. His gorgeous residences, lakes, and waterfalls drew photographers. Funerals, gardens, and marble flats cost millions. Saddam Hussein had about 1,000 residences and 32 square kilometers. Saddam lived comfortably, or that may just be an understatement. Stick to the end to find out. Born April 28, 1937, Saddam Hussein ruled Iraq from 1973 to 2003. Near Tikrit, northern Iraq, Saddam was born. Saddam lived in this impoverished area. He lived with an uncle in Baghdad after his father died before he was born. The 20-year-old joined Ba'ath Party in 1957. He helped Ba'athists assassinate Iraqi Prime Minister Abdel Karim Qasim in 1959 but failed. The attempt had injured Saddam Hussein, who fled to Syria and Egypt. He studied law at Cairo Law School in 1962 to 1963. He studied at Baghdad Law College when the Baptists took over Iraq in 1963. After the 1963 Ramadan Revolution overthrew Qasim's administration, Saddam returned to Iraq, but he was detained next year for Ba'ath Party clashes. He became regional deputy chief in 1966 while in prison. After that, he was released from prison and rose in politics. Saddam led a peaceful Baptist coup in 1968. Saddam ran Iraq under Ahmed Hassan al-Bakr's presidency. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button and the notification bell to stay updated on our daily videos. Despite his cruelty, Saddam Hussein was a successful and forward-thinking leader in his final year. He improved Iraq's economy, healthcare, and infrastructure. He raised social services, education, and farm subsidies over all other Arab nations. He ran Iraq's lucrative oil sector before the 1973 energy crisis. Saddam's security apparatus comprised Ba'athist paramilitary organizations and the People's Army to prevent coups and started Iraq's first chemical weapons program. The civilization tortured, raped, and killed to achieve its goals. Presidential style after Baki resigned, Saddam became president. He became the rebel command council leader and prime minister, among other positions. He made Iraqis worship him and created a complex covert police structure to suppress internal opposition. He aspired to replace Egypt as Arab leader and rule the Persian Gulf as president. Saddam Hussein launched an attrition battle against Iran's oil fields in September 1980. The war's exorbitant cost and loss of Iraq's oil exports forced Saddam Hussein to scale back his aspiration to restore Iraq's economy. The Iraq War ended in 1988 when both sides agreed to ceasefire despite Iraq's high foreign debt. Saddam maintained his army and luxury after the conflict. Saddam Hussein ruled Iraq for 24 years. He spent a lot of money on magnificent palaces that the Iraqi government and US troops who seized him in 2003 still use. The late dictator erected 8 magnificent residences for the Iraqi president nationwide. His opponents detested these dictatorial homes because they symbolize harshness. After Saddam Hussein was apprehended in 2003, large room and hotel beds and Fox French Baroque furniture were unoccupied and dusty. In better times, palace guests relaxed in a rooftop swimming pool which the Americans bombed. Iraqis and the US Army broke inside residences. The Iraqi administration received them all. Many of Saddam's buildings, erected to show his power, were utilized by American troops in 2003 to overthrow him. The despots' armies swore allegiance to a country they hated in the Alpha Palace. A third Baghdad Palace is a strongly secured location where the new US-backed administration works is the world's largest American embassy. The 1930s built People's Palace dominates edifice. Mr. President and Supreme Commander Saddam Hussein, whom God's prospects, erected 2 things in 1995. His administration termed the affluent outposts palaces of the people, but few beyond his own party got past their formidable barriers. 1/3 of the 31.5-kilometer gorgeous buildings are man-made lakes. A 1998 UN delegation reported over 1,000 buildings, including homes, guest cottages, offices, warehouses, and garages. Palaces were also built in Barsa, Mosul, and Tikrit, Saddam's hometown and burial site. Thar, northwest of Baghdad, overlooks a lake, whereas Jabal Makal is near Samarra. Saddam invests much in his buildings. He uses marble to create large rooms, salons, gold-decorated doors, and intricate mosaics. He requested SH to be written on several bricks despite the suffering in Iraq. American leaders in Baghdad are surrounded by their government fiercest opponents' initials. The houses weren't created for their beauty. The Republican Palace in the US was called Believer's Palace, secretly made. The SH is cut to many bricks in higher tech bunker. American authorities in Baghdad are surrounded by their government's biggest false letters. The houses weren't created for their beauty. A new bunker on the top of bunker protected it against Hiroshima-style bombs. US Army officers claim they can manage a nuclear bomb. Two 900-kilogram Gu-28 bunker-busting bombs, at least 6 more were dropped on the building on the first night of the US attack. Busters, smart bombs, passed the dome but exploded on the artificial doors. Drug lord-like, he lived. Saddam Hussein resembles a gangster. Iraqi leaders love guns, money, and women. Money trumped taste. They included Saddam Hussein as his oldest son who died. The Republic Palaces, a city within a city with 6-lane roads and traffic lights, were his territory, his zoo, and many animals. They found his name on bags of wines, liquors, and Cuban cigars in boxes and rooms inside the Odie's house. Odie's gun shops resemble a 2-story chateau across town. Italian firearms, Soviet Kalashnikovs, and US rifles were still wrapped. Ancient muskets and dozens of gold-plated blades and swords were shown. Thriving in Baghdad, Saddam had 2-story, 1-room flat in central Baghdad, East Love Shack. The bedroom contained a woman-shaped mirror and lighting, over 6,000 Beretta 656 SAR handguns, 248 Colt revolvers, and 160 Belgian 7.65mm pistols. He was arrested with 12 Sterling submachine gun boxes and 4 anti-tank rocket boxes unopened. In one Saddam's homes, soldier found suitcase with submachine weapons with handle triggers and air pistol that discharged cyanide pellets. The toilet brush and paper holder were gold too. Even though he enjoyed his pleasure, the Gulf War's economic ramifications separated a divided nation. Shiite and Kurdish organizations came up in Iraq in 1990s, but the world didn't help them out of fear of beginning another war. Saddam's increasingly ruthless security force killed them. After Iraqi troops refused a UN no-fly zone in 1993, the US began to focus on Iraq. After a devastating missile attack on Baghdad in 1998, numerous violations of no-fly zones, and allegation that Iraq was working on its weapons programs, Iraq was targeted with missiles intermittently until February 2001. Bush administration officials believe Hussein was tied to Al-Qaeda. In his 2002 State of the Union address, President George W. Bush called Iran, North Korea, and Iraq his axis of evil. He stated Iraq was supporting terrorists by creating deadly weapons. The UN investigated Iraq's weapon plans in the fall of that year despite little evidence. Still, a coalition led by the US attacked Iraq on March 20, 2003, believing it had a hidden weapons program and was plotting assaults. Baghdad collapsed on April 9, 2003 after the government and army left with weeks. However, Saddam Hussein escaped capture. The US captured Saddam Hussein in Tikrit on December 14, 2003. The Iraqi High Court tried Saddam Hussein in October 2005. The Iraqi High Tribunal is a special court for former Iraqi leaders. He and 5 others killed 148 people in al-Duhali in 1982. Saddam's violent outburst interrupted a 9-month trial in Shia town. He claimed that the tribunal was a US ploy to achieve its interest. Saddam Hussein was convicted guilty to genocide and unlawful detention. The group disbanded in July 2006 and decisions were made in November 2006. His half-brother killed Saddam Hussein after he was exiled and tormented. Former Iraqi chief judge was executed. Saddam Hussein was executed in December 2006, days after an Iraqi court affirmed his death sentence. That's it for today. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up below, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We post videos every week, so stay notified. Thanks for tuning in. See you in the following video.